Welcome to the Good Karma Sportfishing Podcast. I'm your host, Captain Ryan Van Fleet.
And welcome to the Success Codes Podcast. I'm your host, Melinda Van Fleet. Well, hey, Captain Ryan.
Hey.
Got winded out a little bit?
Yeah, got winded out.
A little bit. 30-mile-an-hour surprise.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah, a little 30-mile-an-hour surprise. And it's breezy. It's breezy. But I've been fishing. I fished a lot this month. So we fished in some pretty lousy weather and we fished in some pretty good weather.
Yes.
So I'm happy that November is over. To be honest with you, very happy it's done.
And very grateful for clients and especially for grateful clients.
Yep, very grateful for the clients that were grateful and appreciative and enjoyed spending time with some new folks. And yeah, had a good time, caught some fish. Lost some fish, caught some fish.
That's fishing.
It's fishing.
We need a news flash out there for everybody.
It's fishing. Oh my gosh. If I could have a recording for some of the shit that people say on my trips about, I'm not even going to get into it. So, anyways.
So today we thought we would talk about relationships, some insider scoop on being an influencer. And this might segue into social media or even podcasting or YouTubing. We'll kind of see where it goes. But Ryan and I always have these really amazing next level conversations here at home. And I'm always like, gosh, I wish we had a tape recorder for that. And today we started talking about this topic of being an influencer and the relationships after someone I know had created a post on LinkedIn, and I commented. It's a great post. It's to do with a great blog. And she was asking me like a next level question. And I went to answer it, and I was like, you know what? This is just a lot of really great content that no one talks about. And that is that to be an influencer or even to be just like a normal podcaster like myself, let's say, is really hard to find good people to mesh with in terms of relationships. It's not easy, and no one talks about that. Everyone just looks at, what's going on YouTube or podcasting or people that have gotten a leg up or, collaborations, however you want to put it. And I think that an outside person really just thinks it's an easy thing, but it's not. There's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of energetics, and there's a lot of finding a really good match that is supportive both ways, not just a one-way relationship. And again, I think that people don't know that, and I think it's a really important topic.
Extremely important. Extremely. It goes back to when Melinda and I had Jimmy Jigs.
Yeah.
It goes way back, and like I said, Melinda and I were pioneers in the vertical jig business in South Florida.
Yep.
And a lot of you guys don't know this. And before there was all these jig companies and so forth, Melinda and I were the very first ones to bring into the United States high-quality vertical jigs.
Yes, people laughed at us.
When
they heard the price point, they were like, whatever, you're never going to get it. And we did. We did get the price point.
We did get the price point, yes.
Yeah. Jigs were like $22 retail up to like $28 retail. And we built it with the help of other people online, primarily Instagram, to get the word out.
Primarily, yeah. We had some very good collaborators. I give one of them was Rob Rodriguez, South Florida Kayakers. He was very, very good, very helpful. Pointed us in the right direction on things.
The kayak community, absolutely. The whole kayak community, I would say.
Yep, the whole kayak community. I have a lot of respect for the kayak community. They really were very supportive of the jigs.
Joe and his wife, right? Why am I blanking?
Yeah, Joe Hector with the Extreme Kayak tournament.
They were great.
Jack Carlson with 2 conchs.
Yes, he was incredible.
It was back, this is back at the start of Instagram and all that stuff, and he was very helpful with getting the product and putting it in the right hands of people and like.
Yep, he helped us with Jared Jeffries. Because I remember when we first started, Jared Jeffries had a TV show, and he's a former basketball player. And I looked at Ryan and I said, "We're going to get Jared Jeffries to promote the jigs." And Ryan was like, "You're crazy. Where did you pull that from?" It was just a total pie in the sky thing to manifest. And I put it out there. And then when I ended up cold calling 2 conchs down in Marathon and met with Captain Jack, maybe it was like on my second meeting with Captain Jack that we ended up talking. Ends up like he knew Jared from being also on TV, and Jared was on his boat, and it was just like perfect, and it all lined up. So that was a great relationship in terms of, support and things like coming to fruition.
Yeah, working with Jared's agent and stuff.
We met them at ICAST, and it was great. It was really great.
Very good. Yeah. And he did a very good job at promoting the jigs on the TV show. He gave us a spot.
Yeah.
He gave us a spot.
Yeah. And we didn't have to pay anything.
And we didn't have to pay anything.
No, we just gave him jigs.
Yeah, and
he just had to send him the jigs.
Yeah, and he gave us a spot on the outdoor. I think it was on the Outdoor Network, right?
Yeah, gosh, I can't remember. It feels like so long ago.
It feels like so long ago.
It was like 2016.
Yeah, gave us an intro spot.
Which really wasn't that long ago when you think about how many years people are in business and how long life is. But to me, it feels like an eternity ago.
And then Bouncer Smith, he was also. Bouncer
gosh.
Yeah, Bouncer was very, very good at like putting the jigs in people's hands.
Huge kudos.
He mentioned it on all his fishing shows, all his seminars. He made it a point to mention the jigs.
Yep, and Nautical Ventures.
They
were amazing. I know they've experienced a lot of growth since we worked with them. They only had, I think, 1 location back then. Now I think they have several.
Right.
They were amazing to work with.
We sold a lot of jigs out of Nautical Ventures.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we had some that were not so great.
No, they were not. And Ryan and I, we're not going to mention this person's name.
Yeah, we won't mention his name.
But this is what we want people to think about. It's so easy to be an armchair critic when you don't know what it takes to do what we do. And I mean, we as a collective, whether it's you're a YouTuber, whether you're a charter boat captain, whether you're someone that's in the public eye and relies on certain things for your business. If you're just like a normal person and then you share your opinion, you really need to think about that. This is why we want to do this podcast, because there's so many different relationship aspects that go into what we do. So someone on Instagram shared some facts about another charter boat captain down here in the Keys, and they were facts. I was like, those are facts. Those are just true facts. And I had to refresh Ryan's memory on a situation with Jimmy Jigs in terms of us giving that same captain free jigs. And Ryan was so excited. He was like, because this was before Good Karma Sportfishing took off. So like I said, this was like in 2015, 2016.
Yep.
So you were so excited. You're like, oh my gosh, this captain in Isla Morada, he's going to promote our jigs too. And oh my gosh. And Ryan was so excited because Ryan was really more of the handler of the influencer type thing. And I helped from like a road rep standpoint, hence how I knew Captain Jack, because I sold to 2 conchs the store in Marathon. But for the most part, Ryan did the influencer things and the kayaker things. And what ended up happening was the person used the jigs, caught fish, and then never gave us credit.
Yeah, he ended up winning a meat fishing tournament with the jig.
Yeah, and never gave us credit.
And posted the winnings and never gave us credit. And let me tell you, this was the only person that we had this challenge with. Every single other person was phenomenal to work with. And it was such a learning in terms of people, in terms of relationships, in terms of how they maybe got their business to begin with, which was actually what this person's post was about on Instagram, which again was a fact, is just a fact. And it really, at the time, again, Ryan forgot about this, but I remembered. I was like, oh, no. And then I remember
this person.
Yeah, and then I remember I gave the guy another chance.
Yes, you drove down again.
I drove down again, this time with a lot more jigs that were worth a lot more money.
Yep. and still never got credit, never got a tag, never got a mention, right?
Never.
So, what you end up doing in those situations is you move on. We're adults. Everyone's adults. You make choices. We chose to give that person, the opportunity to work together and collaborate together. And if the person doesn't show up, the person doesn't show up and you move on. But what was fascinating about the post was all the armchair experts that know absolutely nothing and end up piping in. And that's why I was just reading the comments oh my God, no, we have our own personal experience. And I think that it's really important in this day and age to not be a sheep, but also not be an armchair expert. So what does that mean? That means if you have a personal experience that you would ride or die on, that you know to be true, I believe it's okay to speak your truth. So when you read people's comments, the most professional and mature way to deal with it is to be okay, do I have personal experience with this person or not? And if you don't, I think that it's something to realize is that we don't need any more armchair experts out there. Speak the truth on what you know to be true if something happened to you. If it didn't happen to you and you don't know this to be true, then that's when you have to realize it's probably not something you should speak up about.
Yeah.
It's really not.
It's not. And you know what? This is different than going fishing with somebody because fishing's fishing. Fishing's fishing. I booked the trip with Bouncer. I went sword fishing.
Yeah.
And I had zero expectations of catching fish. Zero. I wanted to go sword fishing with Bouncer because I grew up watching Bouncer, and I wanted to go sword fishing with Bouncer. That was it. And we didn't catch anything. Nothing, but we had an amazing day.
We had an amazing day. Yeah, it was fishing. We never thought much about it.
Bouncer and...
we had a good time. We had good lunch afterwards, too.
Bouncer and AB, and I think it's AB, right?
Yeah.
They worked their ass off that day. They kept us out all day, running around. Current sucked. And, I had a great time. I was happy I got to fish with him. Happy.
Yeah.
Happy. And it's fishing. So you can't, you go out and you fish with somebody, and if you have, a slow day, then you don't really understand fishing. Because...
Right.
Yeah. Oh, I had a slow day with him. Oh, it's one of those things. So, but yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. But that doesn't make someone an armchair expert to speak up and bash someone out there when you have no idea what it's like to be the captain.
Right, exactly.
That's Ryan's point. To be the captain, to put together the trip, to do all the things. We still paid in full. We still tipped very nicely.
Yes.
To both of them, even though we didn't catch any fish, because it's fishing and we had fun. And Ryan wanted to go fishing with Bouncer, and I was like, sure, let's go. Let's go to Miami and do it. But we just had a good time. And I think that's really the struggle that we've dealt with a lot is trying to navigate the YouTube scene. And I love YouTube. And I personally love YouTube. We're both on YouTube. But it's trying to understand, the client that comes to us after they've been watching too many YouTube videos, especially from YouTubers who are not captains, because they don't know what it's like to run a charter every single day and how taxing it is and how challenging it is in the weather. So there's just a lot in that in terms of how do you manage your behavior and your expectations and gratitude when you come on a charter or when you're reading someone's social media post. It's really as simple as that. It's just that little bit of awareness around the challenges and do you really know for sure what you're talking about? Most people don't.
Right. And also, too, if you're, I've learned from a lot of guys over the years, and whenever I use one of their tips or something that somebody's taught me, I always give them credit. Captain Joe Petrucco, he's no longer with us, but he showed me some things. I was very grateful for that.
Yeah. Right. So giving gratitude if you use someone's content.
If you use somebody's content, tag them.
If you use something from a video and repurpose it. I know it's not always possible. And that's something Ryan and I talk about a lot too. It's was it possible? Yeah. Is that a short? Was that really possible? Sometimes it's not. But, I think that out there, this is just, karma, which really just means your actions. Good karma is sharing and tagging and collaborating. So in that, I know you've had another great success like a week ago, right? With one of the guys in the group?
Yeah, with one of the guys in the group. These guys, some of the guys don't get to fish much. So one of my members got his first big wahoo.
Woohoo!
So I was very happy for him.
Bucket list fish for a lot of people.
Bucket list fish for a lot of people. And for guys that fish often, you're able to get out there and practice and learn and all that stuff, book charters. But for this individual, not so much. Extremely busy, beyond busy. So he doesn't get to fish much. So, but he studies, he learns, he does his homework, and he's in the group. He has put the work in, and he went out and did it in a very short amount of time. So congratulations, Richard, man. I'm super proud of you, bud.
Yay! It's awesome. So, anything else you want to talk about? We want to say happy holidays to everyone out there. We know there's a lot going on, so we're sending everyone lots of blessings and good cheer this holiday season.
Yeah. Nope, Christmas is here next few weeks, so... Yeah. So I'm looking forward to seeing my clients here around Christmas. And
you have a birthday next week.
Yeah, birthday next week. I'm super glad that 50's over.
Really? Did you have a hard time with 50?
Extremely tough year.
Did you? Well, I know it's been a crazy year, but...
I have not had a good year at 50.
At 50.
So I'm...
Did you buy that yellow Corvette?
I didn't buy any yellow Corvettes.
I'm still here. You didn't trade me in for someone younger.
Yeah. I didn't go through
midlife crisis.
Yeah, I would say.
Do those still exist? Do guys still do that?
I think
the world has changed a little bit?
I really do think I went through some sort of midlife crisis, but it wasn't like that. So it wasn't
trading the wife in for someone younger and getting yellow.
Yeah, it wasn't anything like that. It wasn't like. I guess for me, myself, I've always been pretty quiet and never spoke up. And I think I had some regrets for not speaking up and not standing up for myself over the years with things.
Yeah.
So, and I let some people into my life I probably shouldn't have. And I had to, it's like 50 was tough. It was tough. So I'm very happy. And I've learned from that, and I've
Then celebrate that.
And I'm celebrating that. I'm like, okay, it's done. I've learned from it. I'm moving on. I've got so much others grateful. I'm so grateful for everything that I have. I've had some great successes this year, and I'm grateful for those. But I'm super glad 50's done.
I think, even though this year has been rough, I am so excited for you on the amount of growth that you have had. And you really have to look at it that way.
Yeah.
Because most people are sitting either in their comfort because they're afraid to do that work, or they've started down a path and they haven't gone very fast, and you've gone very fast down the path. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of work to do. And the older we get, the more work there is to do, because the more we get bogged down with all the shit. From social media, from distractions, from people, from bad relationships, from all the junk that we all have to deal with. And we all have to deal with it. And I'm just really excited for you. I don't like the word you use, proud. I don't like that word very much. So I'm just excited for you.
Yes.
Excited for you.
Oh, thank you.
You can all see his face right now.
Yes. I set personal goals for myself every year. Such goals have been I've caught wahoo on my own lures that I've made. And then for me, and I've caught fish on crazy shit, and that's always been a goal, to go out and make my own lures, do that kind of stuff, and catch a fish on something that I make, and I've done that. I'm successful at it, and I've built some very good lures now. And to find new things that help make my life easier. I set that goal. I found a couple new items this year that have really, some small things that have made my life a lot easier. So moving into this season, it's into the new year. I've got these new items and that are very simple that help make life easy.
Mm-hmm.
So, but.
Yeah. No, I think you've had a good year.
Yeah.
Sapfish was new this year,
Yeah.
right, as an affiliate.
Yep, Sapfish. And
did the rods.
Yep, I worked with BD Outdoors on a rod project, which is cool, and I believe in being very authentic still, and like
you're helping out with the marina.
Yep,
the bait and tackle
helping
shop.
out with the marina with the bait and tackle store. So
your blog has been doing very well.
Yep, my blogs are all ranked on basically the front pages of a Google and most Google searches.
Yeah, your blogs do really well.
And
actually.
the content that I put out there is
your YouTube. You got back on YouTube.
YouTube is like I don't know. There's something like I'm approaching YouTube in my style and how I want to do it. So.
I think everyone should do that.
And I think everybody should do that. And
there are some amazing YouTubers out there that don't do thumbnails. They just speak from the heart. So my social media advice for everyone out there is do what makes you happy. It's all about your belief system and consistency over time. Like, honestly, I think that all this other shit is just, like, too much. Just be consistent, show up from the heart.
Yeah, show up from the heart,
get
be
a little
consistent.
better if you want to do that. Like, and get better at whatever you want to get better at. But I see so many channels, like, blowing up that are just simple. I don't give a shit if you have some fancy thumbnail.
Give a shit.
Or Ryan's like, if it's a girl in a thong, it's just laughable now. It's like, okay, what are you trying for here? And is that really your audience? Like, that's not Ryan's audience.
No.
So,
I grew up in the 90s, man. You guys have no idea. I grew up in the 90s. We didn't have cell phones.
Ryan just wants to show you all how to fish.
I don't care about anything
basics.
else, man. I'm like...
No girls in thongs.
No thong bunnies and G-stringers. I guess that's what they call them now. It's what I heard that term the other day for the first time.
I feel like, I don't know. As a female, like, if you are wearing a thong, good for you. I truly don't care about you, like, in terms of that. Like, I'm not jealous. I just feel bad because you got all these creepies looking at you. Like, that's where I'm like, you really want all those creepies looking at your ass? Like, I don't understand that.
I think it's funny that and I think it's funny that the boyfriends are pimping them out.
I just don't understand that. Like, if you look good in it, kudos. Like, again, not jealous. I'm 52.
Oh my God,
I'm fine with how I am. I'm all good. Not jealous. I just feel like, gosh, you really want these creepies looking at your ass? Like, that's just creepy. All right, so we're wrapping it up. Anything else, Captain Ryan?
No. One more piece of advice is just my advice to you guys is that for you young kids and younger captains is just be yourself.
Have fun.
Have fun.
Jesus, just have fun.
Be original. Come up with your own shit. Enjoy going fishing. And,
yes.
And then, maybe collaborate with somebody. Maybe not.
Yeah, do what you think. This is one
think.
thing, too. One other quick thing on the collaboration thing. Because that was the point
do what you think.
This whole thing was people that think you have to collaborate with someone. That is your belief system. And a coaching program that I was in for 2 years, I was in her coaching container, and I heard her say the number that she has made $70 million since 2018 as a coach, similar to me. She's just ahead of me. And she has never once, and she didn't say this, but I know this from being in her world, she did not build her business by collaborating with anybody. Zero. Zip. She's not a podcaster. She's not a YouTuber. She's just on Facebook and Instagram, and she built a business that made $70 million from 2018. That's amazing. So my point in sharing that is what Ryan was saying, so I'm tagging onto that, is you do you. Fix your belief system and have fun. Seriously.
Yep.
It's that simple.
Yeah, forget what
Be positive, grateful.
Yeah, go fishing.
Go fishing, have fun.
Oh my gosh.
Know you can do it. Hire mentors if you're not there yet, whether it's to learn a skill or to work on your belief system. And that's it. You can do it too. Seriously, you can do it too.
Yep, exactly.
So happy holidays to everyone.
Yeah.
Connect with me, melindavanfleet.com. I'm also on Instagram, Melinda_Van_Fleet, and on LinkedIn and YouTube.
Yep.
And where can they find you?
Yeah, you can find me at Good Karma Sportfishing _FL_keys on Instagram, and then on YouTube it's Good Karma Sportfishing.
So thanks for listening.
And remember, anytime you're fishing, it's all good.